This is the fight of their lives. 56 elite fighters battling 8 weeks for 8 life-changing contracts.
And that's enough.
What a fight. The pursuit of $1 million championship is still alive for you.
Who will survive?
Knockout victory!
An MMA reality competition unlike any other.
Literally anything could happen.
Unbelievable!
This is the 2023 Challenger Series.
Welcome back, fight fans, to Orlando, Florida, home of the PFL Challenger Series. And right now, the weigh-ins. Light heavyweights taking center stage tonight. We've got 8 fighters in the building and only 1 contract to give away. If you're new to the Challenger Series, let me explain how it works for you. We've got 4 fights each night, 1 contract. That means 4 fight winners are eligible for a contract. The PFL narrows 4 winners down to 2 finalists. Our celebrity panel, who you'll meet in just a moment, they weigh in. You, the fans, have an opportunity later tonight to help us choose who deserves a contract. And the winner of the contract will appear in our 2023 PFL season. Some highlights from previous weeks. This is the 7th of 8 straight weeks. We've had hard-fought decisions. We've had some big-time finishes. Most importantly, we have found rising talent that belongs on the PFL roster. And of course, we are looking to do the same thing with 205-pounders tonight at Universal Studios in Orlando. Here are the contract winners so far. In week 1, it was Thad Jean. He's still undefeated and a rising prospect. Amanda Levy took home the women's featherweight contract. That is a new weight class in the PFL. Abraham Babley came all the way from across the pond over in England. He gets the heavyweight contract and remains undefeated. The same is true for Elvin Espinoza at lightweight, an undefeated fighter. It was Dirty Des Yanez who took home the women's flyweight contract. And then at featherweight, Brian Sorcher, rising star from Mexico, gets a featherweight contract. And tonight it's about the light heavyweights. Sean O'Connell, former PFL light heavyweight champion. Randy Couture, UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion. Tyron Woodley, one of the legends of the sport and a one-time UFC champion in his own right. Randy, let's talk about these light heavyweights. My favorite weight class, probably one of your favorites, I would imagine. What do you expect from the big boys?
Well, as usual, these guys are very athletic, and then they bring the power that the heavyweights have too. So it's the 1-2 punch, if you will. They're fun to watch. Don't blink.
Tyron Woodley, I'm sure you already knew this, but more finishes in the light heavyweight division in the PFL than any other weight class. Is it going to take a finish to get a contract tonight?
You know, I always see these as like the heavyweight point guards. Over the years, they become extremely athletic, extremely skilled. When you have wrestlers and grapplers going against each other, I feel like bodies going to hit the floor, and I'm excited to watch it.
I'm excited to watch it, too. Let's take a look at the 4 matchups on the card tonight. Monty Morrison and Roland Dunlap will open the action. Tristan Overvig, Billy Elakana, both of those guys, young rising fighters with really interesting stories. Taylor Johnson, he was here in the Challenger Series last year, got a win, but not the contract. He takes on a veteran in Trey Williams. And Impa Kasanganay versus Osama El Saidi will square things out at the end of the night. All right, let's break down these matchups. First up, Monty Morrison and Roland Dunlap squaring off. 3 5-minute rounds at 205 pounds. Let's start with Monty Python Morrison, undefeated, rising star. Does he have what it takes to impress you and get a contract?
I mean, he's a fellow ATT alien. You can judge a book by its cover in this situation. He's extremely physically gifted, but the thing I liked about him, he started acknowledging the fact that he saw his opponent has his hands down, which tells me that he's breaking down film. A lot of people come to the Challenger Series and say, I don't watch my opponent, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. He's training with Kimo Lawal. If you look at the body type, what better person to teach you how to use that body type? He's a very underrated coach, and I feel like he has the intangibles as well as the mindset to get it done.
Monty Morrison, very interesting talent, backstage with Kenny Florian.
Sean, thank you. Monty, you're going to be going first here, first fight of the night. Any added pressure because of that?
No, sir. It's a good thing just to cap it off, start off with a bang, and give the other guys something to look forward to.
You are proudly representing Nigeria. Obviously, you know, the African continent has been producing a ton of world-class talent over the last several years. Why do you think that's the case?
We're just going after it. We're realizing we have a lot of talent, you know, in the continent, and everyone's just putting their best foot forward, and they're grinding, and we're working for it. Nothing's given, all earned.
Monty, good luck.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Sean.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Now let's talk about his opponent. Monty is 3-0. So is Roland Dunlap, and an incredible amateur wrestling background in both high school and college, Randy.
Yeah, on paper, this looks like the classic wrestler versus striker matchup, but Dunlop is training with Doof Rufus, so you know he's going to be a well-rounded athlete coming to mixed martial arts. He's got a great ground game. He feels like he can take advantage of that. He's going to look to use his hands to close the distance and try and put this fight on the ground and take his opponent out of that area of strength.
You see a little capoeira there on the highlights. These are two unbelievable athletes, and that fight opens the action. From there, we move to two young bucks, Tristan Overvig and Billy Elikana. Tristan Overvig is only 23 years of age. He's a single dad. He's burning the candle at both ends. Tonight, he's focused on this opportunity.
I'm sure that single dad title is probably one that keeps him busy for sure, but he's getting it done. He's a well-rounded athlete. Again, some great grappling pedigree, an IBFF no-gi championship. Who's going to come out and impose their will is the real question, and have that well-rounded game and get the finish and impress everybody. This kid has the potential to do that for sure.
You can see there 3 first-round submission victories in a row for Tristan Overvig. Not shy about being a grappling specialist. Billy Elikana, though, is it grappler versus striker in our second bout also?
You know what I think about Billy is he said that he's coming from middleweight, which is if you're a fighter and you cut a lot of weight, you recognize that when you move up, you feel healthier. You're cutting less. You can lift more weights. You can eat more. He feels like the power is going to transition over into this actual situation. And guess what? How can you argue with a couple knockouts to prove it?
Billy Elikana called himself a sniper. Look for the accurate striking from that young Samoan. Fight number 3. Taylor Johnson. We saw Taylor Johnson a year ago in Challenger Series action. He won the fight, but not the contract. He'll take on Trey Williams. All right, Randy, I just said it. He was here a year ago. He won the fight. He was pretty impressive. Was a finalist, but didn't get the contract. What does he have to do tonight to take the next step?
Well, another guy with a great wrestling pedigree. He's got a good ground game, but he's got naturally heavy hands, too. He's not afraid to walk into the pocket and let those hands go. This is really one of those fights where both guys want to move forward. Who's going to go out there and impose their will? Here he is with the takedown, that second effort, securing that takedown. There's those naturally heavy hands that he talks about, that he's not afraid to step in there and let you have it. So you better be ready. Bring your A game. This is going to be a very, very good fight. On paper, again, looks like the classic striker versus grappler matchup, but I think there's a lot more with both of these guys. It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, great wrestling pedigree, but some heavy hands on Taylor Johnson. He's actually backstage with Kenny Florian right now. Kenny.
Sean, thank you. Your opponent fancies himself a grappler. Any hesitation in going to the ground with him?
No, I like to grapple as well.
And, you know, obviously this is your second time out. Last time you won, didn't get the contract. What needs to change tonight?
Just need to get after it, go a little harder, I suppose.
Well, Taylor, good luck, man. Back to you.
Not a man of many words. Hopefully his actions do the talking tonight. Well, let's talk about the opponent, Trey Williams. He wants that takedown attempt to come.
You know, Trey says he's a grappler, but when you look at it, he accredits his cardio and his striking to much of his success. So when you look at a person that can strike and a person that can grapple, they're completely well-rounded. He says he's waiting on the wrestling attack that he knows awaits him, but if he comes in with that lazy shot, he's not going to hesitate to snatch this anaconda choke. As we see right here, he can hit it from every angle. He's very efficient with it, and when someone comes in and doesn't fully commit, this is where he lives at.
He did tell us in the fighter meetings that he loves that anaconda choke. Now, if you call your shot, if he gets that tonight, how do you not earn a contract there? He's backstage with Kenny Florian.
Trey, you've been fighting at 205 pounds now. You know, you say you feel better than ever. Why is that the case?
Well, I get to eat a lot more and just focus on my strength, my technique, and everything that brings all my fighting and everything together. So it's nice to be able to focus on that and not so much the weight cut.
And it's a good thing to be a pure finisher in the Challenger Series. 5 of your 6 wins are by finish. Do you think you need another finish to get the contract?
I'm going to do whatever I can. I think a finish will definitely set that in the books as something to be noticed, so hopefully we'll be able to do that tonight. We're
looking forward to it. Guys.
And that brings us to our final bout of the evening. Impa Kasanganay Osama El Saidi, who made the trip all the way from Egypt. Impa Kasanganay has one of the most interesting lifestyles and stories of anyone that we've seen inside a PFL cage, whether in the Smart Cage in the regular season or here in the Challenger Series. Take a look.
So this flag is probably one of my favorite things that I own. One side, the good old USA. Other side, inside, flag of Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo. So in the 1970s, both my parents immigrated from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kinshasa, formerly known as Zaire, and building a dream. All right, we're at Soul City Farm in Doral, Florida. It's my home. It's my home. I love it. I'm so blessed. Got my friend Matt Santos. We became friends over time when I moved to Florida. And I always wanted to learn about farming, living off the grid, and able to move out here and make it my home. So on this farm we have cows, sheep, honeybees. We host prayer nights and just a great community for anybody who comes through. I want to have my own ranch one day, and Matt's been kind enough to teach me, and I have Nestor out here and all the homies. So it became like a safe place. Right? Whether I got beat up in training or I beat somebody up, I could just come out and think about it. So it's become a safe place for me for sure. Yeah. This is Mikasa. So, welcome to the yurt. Watch your step. I open it up for you. I guess you could say I've lived in most places. I mean, New York City, Charlotte, North Carolina, parts of South Florida, but there's no place better than this, most peaceful. Just show guys, no matter where they come from, like guys from Tajikistan or Central Africa as well, they can make it too.
Impa Kasanganay embracing the simple life. T. Wood, would you live in that tent?
You know what? The air condition didn't look very familiar in that tent in Florida. Hats off to him. Shout out to him having a humble lifestyle and really focus on fighting. But to answer your question, a whole bunch of no's on this side.
All right. Not for T. Wood, but Randy, he embraces that simple lifestyle. How does he make it simple inside of our cage tonight?
Well, I think he just has to go out and use his athletic ability and impose his will in this fight and make it happen the way he wants to. It's interesting, isn't it? We go from Ray Cooper the dude who trains in his garage in Hawaii, and now this guy in a yurt here in Florida. Pretty incredible.
This is Impa Kasanganay just moments ago, backstage, getting ready for the weigh-in, juggling, having a good time. He just does things a little bit differently. Now let's talk about his opponent, Osama El Saidi. Comes from a judo family, but he said, no, man, wrestling was my favorite thing. And does that prove to be a difference in this fight?
Definitely. He's already pointing out the grappling, differences. He feels like he has an advantage in the situation. It's either a couple things happening. He's either looking to exploit that, or he's playing a little mental warfare and planning on going to boxing, because that's one of his strong attributes. He's confident he's better physically, technically, and he thinks he has a higher fight IQ, and we got front row seats to watch it.
Osama El Saidi, by the way, cut more than any of these other 205ers. He's the biggest body tonight. Speaking of big bodies, there's Ray Sefo, the president of fighter operations. Him being here means we get fighters on the scale when we come back to the weigh-ins on Fubo Sports.
Each night there are 4 fights, but only 1 PFL contract awarded. For the challengers, winning isn't enough. They must also impress the celebrity judges and the fans, both of whom cast a vote. The contract winner then moves into the 2023 PFL season, where they have a shot at a world title and $1 million.
And once again, we are live. This is week 7 of the PFL 2023 Challenger Series. Tonight is the night for the light heavyweights. Again, we still have 1 more week left. It's a second chance opportunity for some of these athletes, which we've seen earlier on in this series. And we have already awarded 6 contracts thus far. Thad Jean, Amanda Levy, Abraham Babley, Elvin Espinoza, Desiree Yanez, and Brian Searcher all have been awarded their contracts and are part of the PFL 2023 official roster. Who will win it tonight? We will know in just a few hours. Plenty of action in this light heavyweight division. As you can see, Monty Morrison squares off against Roland Dunlap to kick off the night. Tristan Overvig squaring off against Billy Elikana. Tombstone Taylor Johnson squaring off against Trey Williams. And Impa Kasanganay squaring off against Osama El Saidi. Excellent, excellent fights tonight in this light heavyweight division. Who shall win it? The only one we've seen in prior Challenger Series action is Tombstone Taylor Jackson. And again, we want to thank DAZN for airing this internationally in over 50 countries, the 2023 Challenger Series. And coming up next is the official weigh-in part of the ceremonial weigh-ins in this Week 7 Light Heavyweight Division PFL Challenger Series 2023. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, and the PFL Challenger Series weigh-ins. Light heavyweights taking center stage tonight. Monty Morrison and Roland Dunlap will open the action. To introduce our fighters, Farouk Tawheed.
Welcome to the PFL Challenger Series, live from Orlando, Florida. I'm Farouk Tawheed, and this is the ceremonial weigh-in of the light heavyweight division. It's time to hit the scale. Fighting in the blue corner, Roland the Dream Dunlap. The official weight for Dunlap, 205 3/4 pounds. His opponent, fighting in the red corner, Monty Python Morrison. Official weight for Monty, 202 1/2 pounds. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. Vroom. I told them all that I will soon. Soon. Know as a child back in the womb. Oh, told us to back, I need more.
Second bout of the evening, Tristan Overvig and Billy Elikana.
Fighting out of the blue corner, Billy Elikana. The weight, 205 3/4 pounds. Fighting out of the red corner, Tristan Overvig. The official weight for Overvig, 205 1/4 pounds.
All right, 2 fights down, 2 more to weigh in. Still to come. Weigh-ins.
This is the fight of their lives. 56 elite fighters battling 8 weeks for 8 life-changing contracts.
What a fight. The pursuit of $1 million championship is still alive for you.
Who will survive? An MMA reality competition unlike any other.
Literally anything could happen.
Unbelievable!
This is the 2023 Challenger Series.
Again, here's a look. We've already awarded 6 contracts thus far. Thad Jean for the welterweights. Amanda Levy, the debut of the women's featherweights, who we will see once we kick off the official 2023 season. Abraham Badley for the heavyweights. The lightweights, Alvin Espinoza with the rear naked choke win. Women's flyweights, the debut of that weight division. Dirty Des Yanez gets the contract. And last week, the featherweights, the Mexican Brian Searcher. Again, tonight is week 7 of this 2023 PFL Challenger Series. And we are again live on this series from Orlando, Florida. Plenty of action left. The main event tonight, Impa Kasanagai squaring off against Osama El Saidi. And again, we want to thank DAZN for airing this 2023 PFL Challenger Series live in 50 countries internationally from this Universal Studios setup in Orlando, Florida. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the PFL Challenger Series weigh-ins. Light heavyweights taking to the scale. Our third bout of the evening will take place between Taylor Johnson and Trey Williams.
Corner, Trey, the King, Williams. The official weight clocked in at 204 3/4 pounds. His opponent fighting in the red corner, Taylor Tombstone Johnson. The official weight for Johnson, 205 1/2 pounds.
And our final bout of the night, Impa Kasanagai, Osama El Saidi.
Fighting out of the blue corner, Osama El Saidi. The official weight for El Saidi, 205 pounds. His opponent fighting out of the red corner, Impa Chilobo Kasanagai. The official weight for Kasanagai, 203 1/2 pounds.
Everybody weighed in. We'll get some final thoughts from Randy Couture and Tyron Woodley when the weigh-ins return to Fubo Sports.
Each night there are 4 fights, but only 1 PFL contract awarded. For the challengers, winning isn't enough. They must also impress the celebrity judges and the fans, both of whom cast a vote. The contract winner then moves into the 2023 PFL season, where they have a shot at a world title and $1 million.
Again, this is the 2023 PFL Challenger Series, Week 7, light heavyweights tonight. We still have one more week after this, the second chance opportunity and final chance in this series for some of these athletes. Again, we've already awarded 6 contracts thus far. Thad Jean, Amanda Levy, Abraham Babley, Elvin Espinoza, Dirty Des Yanez, and Brian Searcher have all become part of the official PFL roster. Congratulations. Again, tonight, it's going to be an opportunity for one of these 8 men to win the same thing, their contract, and possibly an opportunity to, round out the year fighting for $1 million. We've seen it happen. Delano Taylor, Carlos Leal both entered the regular season after a PFL Challenger Series run. Again, our regular season kicks off in Las Vegas, Nevada, April 1st. We will be there April 1st, April 7th, April 14th. Plenty of action left tonight. Again, this is going to be the second opportunity for Tombstone Taylor Johnson to possibly win this contract. We'll see what adjustments he's made, what he's learned. And again, we want to thank DAZN for airing this 2023 PFL Challenger Series in over 50 countries. Thank you, DAZN. And stay tuned for the end of this ceremonial weigh-ins.
PFL Challenger Series on Fubo Sports. This is the weigh-ins. Light heavyweights inside the cage tonight. Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Tyron Woodley here for now beside the cage. These will be 2/3 of our celebrity panel when the fights begin at 9 p.m. Eastern. I have to say this, all right? We just saw the weights. I saw 202 and some change, 203 and some change, 204. These are not the biggest light heavyweights, but T. Wood, does that mean we're going to get some fast light heavies tonight?
I judge a lot off weigh-ins. The face-off, I want to see if it's real. I want to see if someone's just going through the motion. But the thing I liked at the beginning, Monte Morrison and Roland, the banter, they mutually consented to violence. And you know how this goes. When you start the first fight off that way, everyone is watching their contract go away if they don't turn up. So I think it's going to start off with a bang. I think it's going to end with a bang.
I'm glad you brought up the contract. Randy, it's all about the contract. It's all about earning an invitation to be part of the light heavyweight roster in 2023. And that means taking on people like Rob Wilkinson, who won it all last year. Shoeface, we expect him back at some point, I think, this season. So are you judging these fights based on can they compete with what we've already got on the roster?
I think you absolutely have to. You're talking about a division in the PFL with this over a 70% finish rate. So if you're going to come in here and coast it out and just get the victory by getting a decision, you're sorely mistaken. You're going to have to finish, folks, if you're going to make any impact in this weight class in the PFL in the regular season. So you better come out guns a-blazing, let it all hang out. Show me you got the mental skills and the fortitude to deal with the adversity of stepping up in a big platform.
We got some jiu-jitsu specialties on the card tonight. You got some big-time wrestlers, some heavy hands. You got that man, Impaka Sanganai. He lives in a yurt. He strips away all the trappings of modern-day life, and he stays focused on the pursuit of one thing, and that is success in the mixed martial arts world. One of the other fun factoids about the Challenger Series, all but one of our contract winners have been undefeated fighters. About half the fighters on the card tonight still undefeated. Does the trend continue?
The trend has to continue because when you look at it, there's so many different walks of life. There's so many. We see my man back there juggling. Whatever it takes to get you to your peace. That's why I like mixed martial arts, because everybody's going to bring something different to the table. But if you want to keep that O at the end of your record, you got to turn up and you got to show us.
The light heavyweights deliver every time they're inside of a PFL cage. And it just so happens that a former light heavyweight champ gets to sit cage side and call the fights. This is what it's all about, people. Challenger Series light heavyweight action begins with the first fight at 9 p.m. Eastern. 4 fights, 1 contract to give away. Our Challenger Series continues the 7th of 8 straight weeks. We'll see you at 9 p.m. on Fubo Sports.